Well, I'm honored to be up in front of you guys today on such a momentous day. Today is pretty special. Today is the day in the United States of America where everybody comes together and we decide who will be our political leader for the next 4 years. It's pretty momentous. Only happens once every 4 years that we do this. So here at Cardigan, we've also decided that we would like to have our own election to see where in this community, where do we stand, looking at our two candidates that are going to be possibly our next president of the country. So I wanted to just explain a little bit. We want you guys to feel what it's like a little bit to be part of the democratic process and also see what it's like a little bit. So to help you with that, a little bit of what we're doing today is we have some students who have been working hard to prepare to come up here and present. And the way they're going to present is going to present in first person, which means that Casson Day is going to represent Barack Obama. When he comes up here, he's going to be talking as if he is Barack Obama. So that is, if you're confused about why he's talking the way he is, that's why he's doing that. When we vote, we're not just voting for the president. There are many different things that we're voting for. We'll be voting for the Senate, for the Congress, for your treasurer, for your governor. So there's a lot of different things that we'll be voting on. Today, we're just going to be giving you guys the option of the presidential election to vote on to simplify it. And also, when we vote, and you go to vote, there's not just Obama and Romney on the ballot. There are other people. There are other parties out there. There are independent parties of different varieties. For your guys' sake, we're also just giving you the option of those two candidates to make it a little more simple. But just be aware that there is a lot more to this voting process than just the president. There's a lot more that goes into that. Also, so you guys know, voting is always optional. Nobody here has to vote. Ms. Young is going to tell you about how to actually vote when we're done, but this is an optional thing. So you can always choose to vote or not vote. Cool. Well, I don't want to steal too much thunder. I think the real key to this whole part is going to be the students coming up here representing the candidates. So we're going to have our Republican Party come up first to speak for about 5 minutes, and right after them will be the Democratic representatives. So without further ado, I'd like to present Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan.
In a recent interview, President Obama compared himself to a captain navigating rough waters. The boat that is America is rocking back and forth. People are getting sick. And if you ask them if they're enjoying the ride, they're probably going to say no. A good captain would have had us in some smooth waters by now. We would have seen some sunny skies. Under President Obama's administration, foreclosures have topped 1 million for the first time. National debt is over 15 trillion. The policies he's put in place are worsening the lives of Americans. The fact is, it's going to take more than 1 year. It's going to take more than 2 years. It's going to take more than one president. It's going to take a new president. A president with a plan to get America back on track. The public and college education systems are among the most controversial issues in America right now. President Obama prides himself in what he calls investing in education. This is billions of dollars in spending that's done nothing to improve education. He talks about education betterment, but does he mean it? He's withheld dollars from innovative programs that the unions oppose, such as the DC Opportunity Scholarship Program, which gives low-income children opportunity to access private school. I have a plan to improve the public education system. Spending billions of dollars of taxpayer money on a system that is failing is not the answer. I'll create educational alternatives and opportunities through School for Struggling Students. Make sure parents are aware of these alternatives and aware of the performance of their child. Students will be allowed to move to a new school if their current school cannot meet their needs. The federal funding for that student should also be transferred to that new school so they can receive adequate supplies and a genuine education. Currently, many students are taking loans for college education from the government. The Obama administration has pushed away private involvement in financial aid. The government already has a lot on its plate. My plan is to allow companies to assist students in paying for school, which will simplify financial aid instead of complicating things. Educational institutions will also be required to meet a federal standard for education performance and course offerings. Under Obama's approach, student loan debt has topped $1 trillion for the first time, and the cost of college has risen by 25%. Another heated issue is that of foreign policy. After the attack on our U.S. Embassy in September of this year, instead of responding to the attack, which the Obama administration was warned about multiple times, he went to Las Vegas for a campaign party. He's putting his own interests in front of those of our country. As president, I will promise to put and keep the interest of the American people first. Obama lied to the people of this nation, claiming the attack was in response to a completely unrelated YouTube video. I saw this for what it was, a terrorist attack. I immediately took action to respond to the slaughter of innocent American lives, talking and discussing with victims. I'm committed to ensuring the safety of the American people. President Obama wants to reduce military spending and try to reason with nations that have proven themselves to be irrational, like Iran and North Korea. I will ensure that America's military is prepared for whatever challenges they may face. In the 2000 presidential debates, there was no talk of terrorism. The next year, the worst terrorist attack in recorded history took place on American soil. I will ensure that our military is prepared for whatever may come our way, and ensure that America is never vulnerable to a takeover by a foreign power. With regards to foreign manufacturing, Obama has given aid to companies like Solyndra, A123 Systems, and other companies of political donors and friends who've stolen and wasted taxpayer money, often supplying jobs to out-of-country workers and granting themselves outrageous bonuses. Both of these companies have declared bankruptcy. In fact, the Obama administration has spent and lost $16 billion on energy projects going nowhere. He's rejected manufacturing at home and continued to have products made in communist China. What does that say about his values? I want to open additional jobs in the manufacturing sector, many of them requiring little or no college experience. I want to continue oil drilling here at home in the United States. Oil production's on the rise, with the U.S. producing 10 million barrels daily, right behind Saudi Arabia at 11 million. Obama's tried to change the way the fundamental fuel system works, letting gas prices soar and trying to convert people to hydrogen cars, blaming problems on global warming. Unemployment under this administration has been over 8%. Obama claims that I will raise taxes for the poor and favor the rich. My plan has nothing to do with economic class. Everyone who pays taxes, rich, poor, whatever, will receive a 20% across-the-board tax cut. That extra take-home money will help to fuel our economy here in the U.S. and assist in job creation. Obama's called the efforts of Americans lazy, apologized to other nations for our rightful actions. He said we've lost our ambition, and he's called the country soft. These are the same excuses he's used for the last 4 years, and the same he'll use for the next 4. I'll tell you one thing. American presidents don't blame Americans. They believe in them. I believe in you. So remember, when you vote Mitt Romney today, it's not political. It's personal. Thank you.
And next we have President Obama and Joe Biden.
My name is Barack Obama, and I care about our neighbors abroad. As we wind down our war in Afghanistan, we have come away with a definite victory. We killed Osama bin Laden and have devastated al-Qaeda's leadership by killing 20 of its top 30 leaders. My overriding goal with foreign policy has been to protect the American people while restoring American leadership abroad. We put together a nuclear security summit that took concrete steps towards securing nuclear material worldwide. These actions will prevent nuclear material from getting into the hands of potential terrorists. We have also built a coalition to pressure Iran to abandon its nuclear program, which could jeopardize global safety. Throughout all of this, we have reaffirmed our unwavering support for the military as well as their families. However, our attention does not fall solely on the Middle East. I am determined to restore American leadership in Latin America. We are committed to a new era of partnership with countries throughout the hemisphere, working on key shared challenges such as economic growth and equality, our energy and climate futures, as well as regional and citizen security. We are also committed to put America on a path to clean energy that improves our energy economy security, reduces our use of fossil fuels, and drives a new era of American innovation. I recognize the need to break from old ways that threaten our economy and our planet. I am committed to investing $150 billion in clean energy research and development over the next 10 years. From the Americas to Asia, I am building new clean energy partnerships that will grow our economy while preserving our planet. We as Americans are paving the way for an energy-efficient globe so that the rest of the world can follow in our footsteps. In the past 4 years, we have made so many positive changes in America and with our neighbors abroad. I urge you to support me today so that we can make the next 4 years some of the best that America has ever seen. Thank you.
Biden. To prepare for the future, we have to create a strong education system that will in turn create jobs and strengthen the economy. First, we must reform No Child Left Behind. It is important that teachers should not have to teach students according solely to the material on standardized tests. We plan to double funding for the federal charter school program. Expanded funding will be provided to states that improve accountability for charter schools. We plan to improve our math and science programs so that graduates will be able to compete in tomorrow's workforce. We also plan to increase students taking AP or college-level classes by 50% by 2016 and provide grants to students applying for higher education. Our teacher residency programs will supply 30,000 well-prepared applicants to high-need schools. We recognize that a strong education system starts with good teachers, and we are taking actions to strengthen our teaching programs. American Opportunity Tax Credit is a universal and fully refundable credit that will ensure the first $4,000 of college education is completely free for most Americans and will cover 2/3 of the cost of tuition as an average. We need to make sure that college is available to everyone, and education is the first step towards individual financial security. We need to increase funding for students with disabilities. Our administration realizes that it is vital to provide every citizen with equal opportunity. If we take action now, we can lead the world in college graduates by 2020. Our administration has set a high standard that will improve education and pave the way for a strong middle class. Our administration has proved time and again that education has to be one of our top priorities. My opponent, Mr. Romney, plans to cut spending for education. This is a mistake that we as a nation cannot afford to make. Education is the first step to reducing the deficit and further strengthening the economy. And therefore, it will remain a priority for this administration over the next 4 years. Thank you.
And just like in any good election, it goes from the candidates, and now the power is in your hands. Well, most of you anyway. While they were speaking, I'm the official election proctor, so I've been putting together the election ballot and making sure that it gets to each of you. Because even if you choose not to vote, we live in a country that believes that you should have the opportunity to. And it's kind of funny because I talked about, not in my classes today, but in another situation, that not all countries in the world are so lucky to have constant changes of power and changes of administration with no bloodshed. So we're very fortunate. So today in your email, you will be receiving from me, a link to a survey, which is really a ballot. And that's your opportunity to vote. There's 1 cent to each of you. It is your choice. As Mr. Ellis said, there is just 2 names or 2 parties represented on this ballot. And then when you turn it in, there was someone, my 9th grade class got to hear me talk about this a little bit more this morning. And in the greater United States, we have 50 states. For Cardigan, in our election, we have just 5. We have the state of 6, the state of 7, the state of 8, the state of 9, and the state of faculty. And we actually took this whole giant thing of electoral votes, 500, and we brought it down to 50. And it's determined by the size of your class. So in actuality, the voting bloc that has the most power here are the 8th graders, followed by the 9th graders. I think the faculty has less than 9th graders. And sorry, 6th grade, you guys are kind of small and you have the least. But it's going to be interesting as the votes come in to see where this goes. I don't know. I just made the ballot. So the rest of it is now up to you. Thank you very much.